Yo, back on the mix here. Got TD Davis, Matthias Bannister Anderson, the sexy Viking. What up, Matthias?
What up?
What up, TD?
What's up?
Hey, man, we got some exciting news to talk about, man. My main brand, Squat Life, sponsor of the Corey Maselli Show, just did a formal strategic alliance with Loud Money Music, Rise Entertainment, who just signed a deal with FMP Radio. So they got, Breakfast and Brunch Club, Boss Talk Radio, airing 5 days a week. I think it's like either 8 to noon or 9 to 1, something like that in Chicago. Start here in a few weeks. And we be streaming to 168 different countries. We got some badass, prolific guests lined up and, spread positivity, dig deep into some different subject matter. And we're going to definitely get you on as a guest on that show too, TD, assuming you're down with that.
Let me know.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, now, part of my mission now is to merge athletics and entertainment. So to me, athletics is an art form. All entertainers are like presenting some type of art form. What are your thoughts on that? Do you see your athletic performance as poetry in motion? Like, talk to me about that.
Most definitely, man. And I think especially with powerlifting, it's such an emotional sport. There's so much emotion that goes into it, man. You got to think the people that actually, take this sport seriously, man. Like a lot of people are like super like damaged and whatnot. Like this is their thing, like to express themselves.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Especially me, I'm one of those people. So I use it as my outlet, and like I'm sure you've seen like some of my videos where I go crazy. I'm just like, just nothing but a bundle full of emotions, and it's poetry to me. It's definitely an art for sure.
Yeah, no question, man. I remember, I grew up with my, not the most smooth first few years of my life. Had a lot of hostility and rage and like self-hate and all that kind of mess flowing. I think I've overcome a lot of it, and lifting is still a good outlet for that. But I remember my mom told me she saw some violent behavior in me as a child, and she like something to the side, and she said, "I want to tell you something right now. When you feel like that, you cannot take it out on another human being. Go chop some wood, break a tree branch, blah blah, something like that." And it was pretty solid advice, because I think it did keep me out of trouble and helped a lot of other people avoid some situations too. Not that I've had a perfect life for that realm, but in that weight room has helped me get through some times when it seemed like nothing else would help. But I know you can relate to that.
Yep.
So anyway, the theme of the show is overcoming everything. And I look at, your strength training, fitness, and music, man, that is such a phenomenal outlet for people, no matter what they're going through, man. We got a new artist we're working with called Cachet. And like her message ties in so well with what like the theme of the show is. Like she's really there, like during COVID, this girl, I can share it with you because she's comfortable sharing it too, like fell into a state of like depression, kind of, lost faith and like dealing with anybody else around her. So she just poured herself into her music and ended up like creating like a lot of really powerful, good songs, man. So, and it's like, that's where I see the connection between athletics and entertainment, because, a lot of that success is bred from like pain and loss and sorrow and like, a feeling of like disillusionment at times, and finding a way to bring some power and positivity back into what you got going on. So people that don't understand, like, how the hell can like bench pressing more make your life that much better? Well, trust me, it does, man. Anything can you expand on that a little bit?
I think a lot of it is, especially with powerlifting, we use it to overcome things. And when we learn through powerlifting how to overcome things, we can use that for our everyday lives too. So once it's always like a positive, especially when you hit a PR. Like things may not have been going well in life for you, but that one little PR that you just made is going to make your whole mood completely change. And now that you know that you can get over plateaus, it's like it gives you hope for everything else in your life.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's like just you start. But me, when I talk to some of the young athletes I've worked with over the years, I said you can challenge yourself, compete with yourself, and beat the former self, and see if you can actually achieve and change your body. That that 300 pounds is the same. We've all heard that, like Henry Rollins. 100 pounds is going to be 100 pounds no matter what. It's up to you to change. The weight ain't going to change. The field ain't going to change. You got to be the one that changes. And I think God gave us such a powerful ability to evolve and morph and change that some people understand that gift more than others, but we're all capable of it to an extent, man. So I don't mean, I've got a lot of energy. People come up to me all the time, like, man, I've never seen some of that kind of energy. So to me, it's a responsibility. That energy goes the wrong direction, bad things happen, man. But when the energy's going the right direction, a lot of good, very powerful things can happen. And my life commitment at this point forward is to get as much positive, powerful activity out of this being as I possibly can. And I know, on your page it says give God all the glory. Man, I am not perfect, but anything good in my life, I promise you, has been a direct like blessing from God, because I should have been dead a bunch of times. I should be like, there's no way I should be experiencing some of the things that I'm experiencing based on what I've like done in my life. But forgiveness is a real thing. And I know self-forgiveness is very powerful too, man. I just want to share that with the audience.
I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. So let's dig into some music, man. What kind of, I remember we had that little G Herbo event thing going on, and you mentioned that was one of your artists you really liked. What kind of music, what kind of hype music do you like to listen to when you're training?
Dude, I love a little bit of everything. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I love my rap. I love my rock. Man, I can even get down some country music, man. As long as that's, as long as it's bumping, I can get to it.
Right.
That's how I am. Because you got to think, bro, like in a meet, you're not gonna have the whole playlist to your favorite. So for me to just be able to get down with anything is like, that's my trick. So as long as that tempo's up and we're rolling, I like that. I'm cool with it. So
yeah, one thing I would do literally, man, is like on my deadlift, especially since it's truly a deadlift. You don't have that stretch reflex. You don't have that down up. I would literally try to create a rhythm in my head and catch the up part of the rhythm as I exploded that lift off the floor. So, there wasn't music playing. There's plenty of music playing in his head, man. I don't know if that makes sense at all or not, but I literally would try to like make my whole movement into like a rhythmic like pattern where I can actually hear it inside of me. So it loaded to that bar, like boom, 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 come up. I would like try to literally make it in tune with a beat, man.
Hey, I'm the same way. I like to like put some music in my head. If the music is on, I'm not feeling like whatever, cool. But something's in my head, and I'm thinking about it. It's beating in my head, and we're going.
This is just where I used to work with a lot of high level swimmers. I remember hearing this story. This in the Olympics. There's you make your top 8. There's like what you fight for the top 16 in the Olympics. So there's the heat of 8, which is like the first through 8th position, and there's 9 through 16. And there was one year a dude in the 9 through 16 heat set the all-time world record. I think it was the 200-meter butterfly. And once he got in, there was like a certain rhythm of his swim, like whoo, 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 whoosh, or something like that. He just thought to himself, he's like, hey, if I can maintain that exact rhythm, I'm going to set the world record. So the dude went from like 12th place to the absolute best in the world, just like trying to follow that same pattern, that same rhythm in his head. I thought that was a pretty cool story because it was like a quantum leap. Like the dude had no right to set a world record that day. He just kind of captured some kind of different mindset. His body did a lot more than he thought it could do. And right. I think that's like the reason I'm mentioning it is our bodies usually are capable of doing way, way, way more than we give ourselves credit for.
Right.
So is there a breakthrough moment you had where you realized you could build this superhuman strength? Or has it been more of like a slow, like steady crawl? Or like, let me give you an example. I remember my cousin Mike Tusaw, who had a chance to play in the NFL. I remember watching him train as a young athlete. He squatted 804 at age 17. Crazy. But he went from like 600 to 800 in like 2 months or something like that. It was absolutely crazy. I mean, he was coached by the great Ernie Franz. And something Ernie told him put a switch in his head where he just gave himself permission to be that strong. So was there any kind of like event in your life where you like really understood that you had the potential of having that superhuman strength?
I'd say the first time I tried to pull 900, and that was at last year at what was the meet? It wasn't a showdown. It was in San Diego. I can't think of the meet. The Kern, either US
Okay,
Open.
gotcha. Yep.
US Open. I'm sorry.
Right.
Just because I was like, man, let's just go for it. Let's just see if I can crack it off the ground. And like, I didn't get the lift, but the speed I pulled it at, and I did get it up. I just had like a downward motion because my brain wasn't clicking with my muscles because I didn't realize how fast I got it up. And
It's crazy.
I'm like, dang, I was at lockout, but I had a downward motion and I couldn't keep it up there. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But I'm like, that was there. I'm like, dude, I got something going on for me. And another time I felt that is when I doubled 700. I doubled 700 in training. I'm like, you know what?
Eventually, I'm assuming you're talking about.
Yep. I did that. And I'm like, you know what? It's game time for me. So.
Yeah, man, I had a very, like, my best competition definitely was 910. That 910 was in my head for a long time because it would become the U.S. record, the number one sumo. At the time, it was the number one sumo and the number one double overhand deadlift. So I had that 910 number in my head for a long time. Went the Arnold 2016, XPC, whatever, put 910, the second attempt was 910, and I smoked it so fast, same damn thing happened. Got to the top, boom, boom, boom. It was like down up movement, no lift, but it moved like so fast, that I think I underestimated. If I'd have had 940 all-time world record of the bar that attempt, bam, that would have been there. But it wasn't. So like it is, man. Sometimes you really get in that geek mode. Your body can do things that are just literally surprise yourself.
Yeah. I think it's that whole really being connected with your feelings at that point. It's like it's a way deeper thing than anything. It's like you really kind of get into yourself and you give yourself that confidence because you know you can do this. Like it's like a superpower to me, man.
Yes, it is. 100%. And I noticed there's a real, man, it seems like the best powerlifters are the most hella ADD people in the world. Do you see that too? What is up with that, man?
Like, I don't know, man, but hey, there's really some fact in what you just said. I definitely feel that.
Man, it's like common. It's rare to find a top level lifter who's not like just on a whole different like piano playing system, man. It's crazy. I mean, maybe you just got to be like we talked to Scott Mendelson last episode. Maybe you just have to be somewhat insane to be an excellent power lifter. I don't know. There's exceptions to the rule, maybe, but not too many.
Yeah, some, man. You got to think, bro. You got to be crazy to say, "Oh, I wanna, have an 800-pound squat. I want to have 800 pounds on my back, or I want to try to deadlift, 800 pounds." Like the numbers that we do are just nuts, man. Like it's a whole other ball game. It's not normal. Normal people don't want to do that.
I remember after I was coming back from that knee injury, shout out to Butch Wise if you're listening, and his wife Ruth Ann Wise. They were like real, very supportive people for me, and used to do some work for them. And I remember I showed up to work. I'm like, Ruth Ann, I squatted 1,000 whatever today, and she just looked at me. She said, "Why, honey?" Why?
Why not?
Exactly.
Why not? Exactly. That's the right answer. Why not?
Yeah, like women are always like why, but men are like why not? Like I have to do it. I have to prove myself.
Yeah. Exactly. Why not? Hey, May 28th, man. We got a launch party for the new Boss Talk Radio Breakfast and Brunch show. We got some Squat Life, like new developments in the Squat Life world we're trying to blow out. I want to invite you to our gig, man, May 28th. Is there a chance you could make it, you think?
There is a chance I could probably make it out there.
Yeah, man, we'll be going, kick it off at 3. We got an excellent like barbecue meat smoker specialist coming out. We got a whole bunch of different people. I know like people will be very eager to meet you. If you can make it, brother, it'd be huge.
That's in Chicago, right?
Yeah, Naperville, Illinois, Force Power Gym, baby.
I might be able to do that, man. Just send me a message. I'll put that in my calendar for sure. That's like my last week of school too, so that'll be perfect.
Cool. Then I definitely, like after the show, I want to hook you up with Dr. Randy. If there's any way he can help with that recovery process for you, you get every tool in that toolbox you can get. So
yeah, I definitely do.
Matthias, you got any other questions right now?
Dude, are you ever hungry?
I'm always hungry. I'm actually pretty hungry right now.
Seriously? With all the food you're eating?
Yeah, I actually like on the weekends I kind of take it easy, so I'm not really training, but like I'm still pretty hungry because I don't, train. So
I mean, I have heard from people who are pretty big but can't like half your size, say that like stuff like I haven't been hungry even one time in the last 2 years, stuff like that. And you're telling me you're always hungry and you weigh 430, 40 pounds.
I could definitely eat. But see, like how I move, like I'm not a regular like 400-pound person. That's like how my doctor tells me. He said, dude, like, I mean, you're pretty healthy. I can still run. Like I can still grab rim if I wanted to, you know, like
That's
I
awesome.
dunk. You know, I can still do things like that. I can touch my toes. You know, I'm not a regular 400-pound person, so my body needs that fuel to continue to do what I do, so I can do what I do. So I think that's why I'm always so hungry.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Go ahead,
You're so big and you eat so much food, your metabolism must be running wild. So like when it's cold outside, can you be standing out in like a t-shirt, nothing else, and have steam coming up from your body?
You know what? A lot of times I don't wear a jacket, so I'll just have a t-shirt, and I'll start to sweat, especially when I'm eating. Like I'm just like sweating because it's already starting to burn off. It's weird. I'm on point of my diet, man. Like I'm on it. So
yeah, because I did Viking fighting where we would fight with steel and stuff like that outside, and shields and like axes and swords and spears, and there was like a guy who weighed like 380, something like that, and he would have steam coming up from him in the winter outside.
Well, it was cooking.
Yeah, on real genetics, and his doctor told him the same thing. It's like you're a normal sized person, you know, but it was crazy.
Hey, I would talk about that. One of my former teammates, lifelong homie, Hollis Thomas, actually tried calling here a few minutes ago. I had to call him back when the show's over, have him on as a guest. You like this, TD? I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. He was a teammate of mine up at NIU. One of the shortest D linemen in the history of the NFL, one of the best D linemen in the history of the NFL. We played college football together. I think his best bench was like 480. Dude went and had a 15-year NFL career and ended up benching 600 before his final season in the NFL. But point being, I think Hollis's playing weight was probably like, around, I'll ask when he's on, but, 340, 350, something dang thing like that. And that son of a gun could eat, man. He was not afraid to pack in the energy. And so I think people underestimate like how powerful that food intake is. I know everybody understands 90% nutrition, blah, blah, blah. I say, hell no, it's 100% nutrition. It's 100% training. It's 100% state of mind because it all throws together, man. Once you eat that food, it's part of your being anyway. You are what you eat, literally. So, I think the way we do, rather than kill people with the minutia of the detail, you want to give a shout out to your nutrition coach, TD?
Yeah, shout out to Chev, man. She's great. She's actually based out of Chicago. Actually, she just moved to Indiana, but she has a lot of clients in Chicago still and whatnot. And
how does someone get a hold of
her? Instagram, her at Chev Nation is her thing on Instagram. So if you go to my page, you'll see her tagged in all my stuff.
What's your page? TD, tell us your Instagram page.
At TD Smash.
At TD Smash, baby. Anything else you want to shout out or say what's up to or anything like that?
Shout out to everybody, and God bless, and hopefully everyone has a wonderful Easter. You guys get a chance to check out those strongest ever cards. Make sure you check those out, man. Those are pretty cool. There's the Generation 2s coming out.
How do we do that?
They're also tagged on my Instagram too.
Oh,
so
there you go. TD Smash.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Cool. Matthias, we're going to wrap this thing up. Any final comments or questions or thoughts?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, hey, any TD, final comments, thoughts, anyone?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. I kept a close eye on you probably more than you know ever since the first time we met, man. I'm proud of you. Kicking some ass, and I love it, man. It's really cool.
Thank you.
All right, Rafting Radio, the Corey Maselli Show. Pay attention, Boss Talk, breakfast and lunch morning show in Chicago starting soon. Loud Money Music, and we're going to talk to everybody about that. We got a radical episode coming up later this week. Big moves, baby. Big boy shit, TD, I promise you. So love, respect, keep hustling. Peace out.